2. Okay, folks, you're welcome to this game here, which has been played in Canon McManus Memorial Park in Derry, Canon Maguire Memorial Park here in Derrygonley for this Quinn Building Products Senior Football Championship relegation semi-final playoff. We're joining the action 10 minutes in. The scoreline reads Tempo 1 goal and 1 point. Erngales are yet to score. Story of the game so far: it's been nip and tuck in the opening exchanges, both teams going at it hammer and tongs. The main incident to report was Erngales were on the attack. They had a goal opportunity, but Matthew Jackson came out well to save that. From the resultant play, the ball was taken inside. Here's another chance of a goal here, flicked inside by number 4, who is Oren. That's Ben McCann flicked that, and Erngales are on the scoreboard with another goal. So really, a lot of action in the first couple of minutes. Scoreline now is Erngales 1 goal, Tempo 1 point. I was telling the story of the Tempo goal. Erngales were on the attack. Matthew Jackson made a good save. The ball was turned over and Tempo moved up to the far end of the field. A high ball went in between Rory Foy, the full-back, and the goalkeeper, and Foy got a hand till it into the net. After that, Aidan Breen registered a score from about 45 metres out, and we just seen that score in which it was a short free. Seamus Ryder took it fast, gave it to Ben McCann, and Ben McCann flicked the ball over the head of Matthew Jackson into the net. So 1 point between the teams as we approach 12 minutes played in this first half. Joining me on commentary for this game is Malachy McConnell. Malachy, you're welcome to our broadcast. We've got going eventually. We had minor problems with our power and that we didn't have any for a while, but we're up and running now.
Sure, people will forgive us today, Kieran, with that swirling breeze. It caused us serious technical difficulties, so all's well now, and hopefully we'll get going.
Fingers.
Tempo on the ball.
Tempo's on the ball. So what were your opinion for the opening couple of minutes? It has been that you often find with these the dynamic of these games. Both of these teams are coming off their disappointing results in their quarter-finals, so it's very important that they can get themselves G'd back up again. But both teams have been playing helter-skelter in the opening couple of minutes.
It's been frenetic, and Breeze is going to have a big impact today. You know, it's
very
unfortunate it's not a day for perfect football, but Erngales were struggling to penetrate the Tempo defence there, but caught them sleeping slightly on that free.
That's right. Well, Seamus Ryder, he is a wily player. There's a high ball. It's not a high ball, it's a dropping ball, in fact, that didn't even make the length, and that ball only went about 20 metres before the Breeze killed any momentum of it. So Tempo, we have to say, are playing with a very strong Breeze in this opening couple of minutes, in this opening half. Indeed, that's a ball right into strain to find Tiernan Bogue, but Tiernan Bogue was being fouled there by Paul Ward, so that's going to be a free in for Tempo. Just a chance to let you know about some of the changes that have been made to the teams. Number 20, Ryan Ingram, is on, and he's playing in this game, as well as number 28, who is Ewan McCann, in fact, is wearing number 28. So a couple of changes like that there. We'll get them when we get them all sorted out. We'll have opportunity to go through that. Malachy, on the Erngales side of things, they have Michael Keown, and he's on. Colin Keown, in fact, he's on and playing for them. So that was a ball from Tiernan Bogue. It spun it went up very high, and it seemed to get caught in the breeze. It's come down eventually, and Erngales have that broken down. That's what their midfielders, Michael Oak, McGarrigle over there. He gives it to Keown, and Keown goes to ground. Bit of pushing going on over there. That was Ryan Ingram, I think, who pushed Michael Oak, McGarrigle, and may have been a bit of afters. Referee Nigel Sweeney's having words with Ryan Ingram over there. So it's going to be a sideline ball, or a free kick over on that far sideline, in which Ben McCann is going to take on the now once Nigel Sweeney has given a yellow card there to Ryan Ingram, but it's a free kick over on that far sideline. Michael Keown, or Colin Keown, found himself in a bit of free room here, gets spun around, drops the ball, and it's been kicked back. That was a foot in, so that's going to be a free into Tempo. In that instance, he got spun around there, and Tempo got two players around him, able to dispossess him. And now this is an opportunity for I think it's Lorcan McStraffic is going to take this here on the left foot, 45 metres out. the breeze is certainly going to carry this, so we'll see how it goes. He gives that plenty of height, and it's been caught by the breeze. It's heading in and it's gone over the bar. That's another point for Tempo, and they extend their lead. 1 goal and 2 points to 1 goal. 2 points between the teams. That was a lovely kick, Malachy, and we did see how strong the breeze is.
Yeah, strong breeze, but he still had to judge it, because the previous one Tiernan kicked, he had hoped that the wind would pull it in from the right, but it didn't. But Larkin judged it perfectly and just slotted through the bars, so through the uprights. Yeah, it was right up the middle, so well judged by young Larkin.
Goalkeeper Brian Ryder kicking that out, going low, but it's been turned over, and Keelan Kelly's over there giving it to Tiernan Bogue. Bit of a mix up and a bit of breakdown in communication that allowed Paul Ward with an opportunity to get a foot in. That's a heavy challenge over there. It's Conor Foy and it's Tommy McCaffrey. McCaffrey went to ground. Referee Nigel Sweeney has given it as a free to Tempo, so that's Conor Foy with the ball in his hands. He's trying to take it quick, but that was been delayed on him. Oisin Jackson as well, wearing 18. He's come in as well, so high ball going into the forward line, trying to find Rory Foy, bounces over his head, but he gets it tipped on, and now that's been picked up by the full forward, who is McStravick, kicking that in the right foot, and then that's got away from him, so that's a wide for Tempo. Scoreline remains 1 goal and 2 points to 1 goal.
All very hectic at the moment, you know. It's right. All very, I suppose, still trying to. Oh, we have the water break.
We'll have the water break now and a chance to catch our breath. So just to go through some of the changes, it's Aidan Flanagan and Ryan Ingram who is on, and Ewan McCann, instead of wearing number 10, I think he's wearing number 28. On the Ballinelec team, on the Bleak team, they have brought on number 22, who is Colm Keown, and Colm Keown, he has started this game. So a couple of changes early days, but that's how the teams have lined out. So at the end of this first quarter, the scoreline reads 1 goal and 2 points to Tempo, 1 goal to Aaron Gales. It's fair to say, Malachy, with that strong breeze, that Tempo need to rack up as high a score as they can in these opening minutes, because that is a strong breeze and it has to be worth 5 or 6 points.
Certainly, and we've seen young McStravick finding space there inside, and Tiernan Bogue, so I suppose it's not just a case of hit and hope. They just do have to find the three other men inside and then leave it up to them.
For Tempo, you have to imagine in the second half, Aaron Gales is going to have Seamus Ryder more than likely in at full forward, and the high ball dropping into him, so that's a scary thought for the management team. They have that to plot for in the second half, but that's a poor kick out which McStravick has won himself. Took a bit of a pot shot and that ball's gone wide. McStravick had a bit more time. I don't know, was he looking to chip the keeper?
Yeah,
he put it very, very high.
The keeper, yeah, I think he was trying to lob the keeper, but it came off the outside of his left boot, and
the connection wasn't good. So goalkeeper Brian Ryder with another chance to kick that one. He got away with that one certainly. I think Lorcan McStravick was standing in front of Shane Mimna, and that allowed him to get his body in the way. That's coming out to Michael McGarrigle. He does well in midfield, catches that ball, takes his mark. He's looking for support and he's moving forward. That's over there to Barry McCann, but referee Nigel Sweeney says you didn't take it from the right place, go back, he says. So McGarrigle taking this here now, and he's found number 4 Ben McCann. He's the goal scorer, gives it to his colleague from the full back line, who is Shane Mimna. Now it's with Tommy McCaffrey, a very speedy player and one with a great left foot, back to Shane Mimna, and it's over here now to Michael McGarrigle. He's got support on that far side of the field. I think that's Barry McCann, but he plays on with number 5, who is Oisin Kelm. Now it's into the hands of Barry McCann. The shooting opportunity wasn't there. That was Oren Johnson who had the ball punched out of his hands, and Tempo picked it up and they were fouled, so it's going to be a free out for Tempo, which Aidan Breen's going to take, kicking it over there, and he finds his colleague from the half back line. That was Keelan Kelly. Now Keelan Kelly moves it forward. Chance of it being touched along the ground. Referee Nigel when he says play away. It's back with Aidan Breen and back to Keelan Kelly now as well, with Ryan Ingram over there. I think he's going to try and deliver this ball long. First time it's Tiernan Bogue who is going up for that there with Paul Ward. Paul Ward kind of come in over the back of Tiernan Bogue. Eventually that ball has slid out over the lane, so Tempo were trying to isolate Tiernan Bogue in there with the Bleak full back line. That was probably the delivery of the ball, Malachy, wasn't good enough.
Paul Ward did very well there. He used his chest to give the full forward the little nudge, just enough to put him off without fouling, and wide ball. So praise there for the full back. As the temptations usually put your hands out in the back and there's free in, but no, he did very well.
Once a referee would see that there, it's straight away going to be it would have been a penalty more than likely.
That's right.
Tempo have turned over this free, and that's Lorcan McStravick. He looks like he's connected a bit better with that one on the left foot. That's gone flying over the bar, so that's another point for Tempo. 1-3 against 1 goal. Aaron Gales are under the cosh a bit here. They're struggling to get their own kick out, Malachi.
Yeah, I just thought for all the talk of blanket defences, there was a lot of space there. Lorcan McStravick found himself in a lot of space and he was able to offload there outside of the left boot. Beautifully taken score. So Aaron Gales have a bit of tightening up to do.
They have, and they have to try and work these kickouts a bit better. That's Brian Ryder. He went long this time. Michael McGarrigle, to be fair to him, he's harrying hard. That dropped to Ben McCann, but we have an injury for one of the Aaron Gales players, and it's going to be a free in. I think it's Oren Johnson who's down. He must have got tangled up on that.
The ball had been played on, and he seemed to go down. I just didn't see it, but he's in pain anyway.
Medical treatment needed for that there, so I think it's going to continue with Aaron Gales indirect free kick in and around 5 metres into the Tempo half. So it's Michael O'McGarrigle who has the ball in one hand, waiting for his colleague who is Oren Johnson to get treatment. Seems to be on his leg from what I can see.
He seemed to torn fast. He might have went over on the ankle.
Yeah, we have to remember the conditions as well, because there has been a lot of rain in recent times and will more than likely leave the fields a bit heavier. But Oren Johnson's back to his feet. Referee Nigel Sweeney's going to continue the game with a throw up, and it's Michael O'McGarrigle and Aidan Breen, the two number 9s, he's going in for this here. McGarrigle gets his body in front, but Breen gets over the top of him, tips that down. That was Keelan Kelly down to pick up the ball. Someone stuck a foot in.
Careless from the Aaron Gales player. That was careless now.
Breen looks to deliver this first time. He's looking for Tiernan Bogue, who gets out in front of Paul Ward this time. So Bogue, he's a long rangey sort of a player trying to solo that ball, and it got away from him, but now he's been picked up by Lorcan McStravick. About 50 metres out, he fists it here now to Union McCann, spins around on the left foot, gives that bit of height. The Breeze takes it and gets it over the bar. It's now 1-4 to Tempo, 1 goal to Aaron Gales as we approach 20 minutes played in this first half. So Aaron Gales are struggling. They have a lot of problems, Malachi. They're struggling to get their own kick out. They haven't really got up the field much apart from that foray to get the goal. So it might be a case of damage limitation while they are playing against such a strong breeze.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's so much space at this stage in the game. You know, usually we see that things opening up well into the second half, but Tempo are finding a lot of space in there. The forwards are winning the ball clean out in front. That was a very good pass in from Lorcan McStravick, found the forward in space. Usually when we have an inside forward, he can't pick out a pass like that because there was a crowd of players, yet he still found his man, and the Tempo player, his name escapes me, but just turned him and put it over the bar. It was very well taken.
That's right.
Yeah,
they've
very well
took a couple of good scores. Tempo, Tiernan Lorcan McStravick had a great score earlier on. So here we go again with goalkeeper Brian Ryder on the left foot. He's going out straight to midfield between Breen and McGarrigle. That was Ben McCann who jumped in. He was hit from behind, so fair play to Ben McCann jumping in there. He's not the tallest man, and he's certainly not he certainly hasn't got the frame of a midfielder, but he got up fastest there. Now it's with Oisín Kelm as he breaks inside Union McCann, who had a bit of speed on the right foot, gives that's a great score. That score coming from Oisín Kelm on the right foot. He skinned Union McCann for pace there, Malach. He got inside, connected with that well, and went flying over the bar.
Yeah, very well played. The defence seemed to open up for him there, you know. He had a lot of work to do. He got that ball around the middle and he carried it 25-30 metres and he slotted it over.
Matthew Jackson go along. That's Lorcan McStravick who breaks him down to himself, sells a solo dummy with Shane Mimna, does not pay, gets it flicked away, but Conor Foy picks it up, gets inside the two Aaron Gales players. He's looking to deliver this fast. McStravick has peeled away to give him an opportunity, but Ben McCann was blocking his path, so referee Nigel Sweeney says move it forward now. Union McCann's tucked this in the left foot, trying to kick it across himself. It doesn't bend back in and it's gone wide, and you can see Rory Foy, he had got himself in and around the 13 metre line. He was looking for a floater, more so than a crossing ball.
Yes, well, I think the hope there was that the wind would catch it and take it back in, but again, the one time that you want the wind to blow, it didn't.
Brian Ryder away comes again out here, and it's between Ben McCann and Michael Oak McGarrigle. McCann gets that again, so he's offering an opportunity for himself, gives it to number 10, that's Dara Keown. He's picked this up in the left foot, going to give it back to Oren Johnson, trying to get this onto the left foot, turns back inside, he's got himself into a lot of trouble. Referee Nigel Sweeney says you took too much out of it, it's going to be a free out. That was a scoring opportunity for Aaron Gales, there's no doubt about that, Malachy.
It was, but he was well shielded out by the Tempo defence. They worked him out to the corner, and the shooting opportunity that was then gone, and he got blue for over carrying.
Strong challenge from Tommy McCaffrey there. Now Tempo's on the move again here. This is one of their, that's number 12, who is Peter Rafferty. He gives it to his colleague, who's Aidan Flanagan. High ball in there from Rory Foy. Referee Nigel Sweeney says there was pushing going on in there. It was the cornerback, who is Podrick Johnson, and he is adjudged to have fouled Rory Foy. I think Rory Foy done everything he could to make it look like he was fouled, slightly worse than he was. It couldn't have been anything more than Podrick Johnson keeping his shoulder into the back of Rory Foy, but that's what it looked like, and referee Nigel Sweeney says that's a free in. So this is going to be taken by Tiernan Bogue. He's looking to extend the Tempo lead, 1-4 to 1-1 the lead. Now it's 1-5, 4 points between the teams. This is a good one for Tiernan Bogue to get him settled down, Malachy.
Yeah, it was, yes, you're right, it was a very scoreable chance there, but as you were saying about Rory Foy there, I think we call that experience.
Yeah, craft is another of the words that they use as well. So here we go, Brian Ryder kicking that out on the far side of the field. The breeze has caught it. It was Barry McCann going for it, but it was Aidan Flanagan giving it to Tiernan Bogue on the right foot. That looks good. It's kicking that well off of the right foot, and the breeze is going well. The two umpires had to do a bit of consultation. Aaron Gales are adamant that the ball wasn't over the bar. Referee Nigel Sweeney's going in to have a word with the players, so we can't just chalk it down just yet. I obviously haven't a clue whether it went over the bar or not, Malachy. It was one of those ones, sometimes when you get a good connection it looks like a score. He's talking with the two umpires, and he's also talking with Ollie McShea, who's over there, and I think the score is going to stand. It's gone up on the scoreboard here, 1-6 to 1-1. So Ollie McShea seemed to be indicating lift the flag to say that went over the bar. Yes. So Brian Ryder with another kick out here, 5 points between the teams. He's coming over to this side of the field between Michael Oak McGarrigle and Aidan Breen. McGarrigle breaks it down, Tommy McCaffrey nips in, and he's been chased by Peter Rafferty. McCaffrey wins his free. He's got support over there from Oisin Kelm, who got a great point earlier on. He's got two players in front of him, turns back to McCaffrey. McCaffrey gets through the two of them, and they're still after him on the left foot. Nigel Sweeney says play on with your advantage. He takes it back just, I'd say the 6 seconds were certainly coming to an end, but to be fair to Tommy McCaffrey, he hadn't had much of an advantage, only that he got forward another 4 or 5 paces. So Nigel Sweeney pulled it back, gave the free for Aaron Gales, and away they go again. It's over there with Michael Oak McGarrigle. Can't deliver that ball in because the breeze is probably too strong against him. It's Oisin Kelm who's going down a dark alley. Shane Rooney fakes the shot, gives it back to Kelm. Good chance here now for a point, gets that connection, didn't look good, and that ball's going wide. There was good play in there. Shane Rooney and Oisin Kelm, they did well to create the scoring opportunity, but didn't come off Oisin Kelm's foot that well, and it went wide.
Yeah, great work by Tommy McCaffrey, just relentless, kept going, kept working, and got us free, and then they worked it.
Aidan Breen turns Michael Oak McGarrigle. He's got Ewan McCann give him an option. Breen has got to the edge of the D. He was certainly getting into a scoring position. Gives it to Aidan Flanagan. Gives that plenty of height, but I don't think it's going to be. It's not accurate, and that's going wide. So
yeah, I thought Aidan was going to have a go there himself. It would be well within his range.
He had just got to the position where you were just expecting him to turn around to take a kick at it, but at the last minute he turned back again, give it to Aidan Flanagan. Flanagan got good elevation on it, there's no doubt about that there, but his accuracy was off and that went wide. So here comes Brian Ryder again with his kick out. He's been one of the busiest Bleak players so far. Much to be expected with how strong this breeze is. Gives that ball to Shane Mimna. That was well judged. Mimna and Rory Foy. Now it's over there to Michael Oak McGarrigle. So it's over there indeed to Oisin Kelm. So it gives Bleak a chance to win a bit of possession, get their hands carry it through, carry it to retain a bit of possession anyway. That's Barry McCannis to bend us back to give that there. Then he picks it up from Colm Keown. Back here now to Oisin Kelm. And Balik are trying to get a bit of momentum and string a couple of passes together. Here we go again with Paul McCaffrey. He had a good opening couple of minutes, kicking a high ball in there to Seamus Ryder. That's dangerous because Ryder's a very physical player in there, and he's someone who has a lot of threat to him. But Tempo deal with it now, and it's over there with Aidan Breen and they're one of their players that's Ryan Ingram going down. Seems as if he was fouled. I think maybe his foot has come out of his boot, so he's going to have to get that back in. So that's Ryan Ingram over there on the 21 metre line, kicking a cross-field ball here to Tommy Warnock, and Warnock gives it to Keelan Kelly, someone who's come into Tempo and made a difference to them in the last while. He going forward, he was challenged strongly by Dara Keown. Referee Nigel Sweeney says it's going to be a free in. So I think with Tiernan Bogue coming out to take this here between Tiernan Bogue and Lorcan McStravick, this is no doubt about it 52, 53 metres out. I suppose, Malachy, with the breeze it makes it a bit more it starts to bring it into their ranges a bit more, but this is for Lorcan McStravick. He has to judge this. Looks like he's going to kick across it, which is a awkward kind of a kick, but awkward smawkward, says he, and he puts that straight over the bar.
I was just thinking to myself,
the camera was running for that.
I was just thinking to myself, Lord, he's running at this from a strange angle, but then I realised he can kick with both feet and kicked it off the outside of the left from probably about
it had to be 50 metres anyway.
Yeah.
So that's another score for Tempo, and they now lead 1-1 to 1-7. So they have a 6-point lead, and here we go again with Rory Foy. He shifts a tough challenge onto the cornerback, who is Podrick Johnson, and now it's back here with the Tempo cornerback, who's Declan Owens, into the hands of Aidan Flanagan over there now, and Connor Foy, he ships a challenge from Tommy McCaffrey. One of the Tempo players is just down with a bit of cramp there. That's a ball in to number 20, who is Ryan Ingram. Ingram's a tricky kind of a player, tries to thread a fantastic ball to Ewan McCann. That's a dropping ball. He's going to soccer on it first time. Goalkeeper Brian Ryder makes a fantastic save. That was a great ball to open up the Balik defence there from Ryan Ingram. We'll have to make a note of that. That was Rory Foy, tried to clean Michael McGarrigle out of it. McGarrigle's one is free, and away they go again. It's here now with Paul McCaffrey. Helter-skelter stuff here, Malachy, so it is. That's
plenty of excitement.
Dara Keown kicking it here for Shane Rooney, but that ball skidded away. So even with 6 points between the teams, given that breeze and given the potential that Aaron Gales do have, we certainly can't rule them out of this game. Balik are going to have a tough there's going to be a lot of hard work needed in the second half if they are to retain this lead. That's Keelan Kelly who has it now. He's got Aidan Flanagan in support, but he gives it to Ryan Ingram instead. Back to Kelly, and Tempo's on the move on that far side of the field. That is there. That's over here to Ingram again. He's going to try this on the right foot. That's going to drop in. It's looking not too bad, but it's gone wide. So that's another way. The Wades are starting maybe to count up for Tempo here.
They are, and just going back to that previous attempt or opportunity, I think it was young Ewan McCann. Just the width of the post stopped him from getting another goal, and it would have been a great score for Tempo to get at this stage in the half. But
we give credit to Brian Ryder, who stood up big and strong and got his angles covered. I think something that was involved there, the ball just kind of was sliding away from Ewan McCann. It took a bit of a heavy bounce, and it was sort of going away from him. That's well won by Tommy McCaffrey over there. It was Barry McCann indeed, gives it to Michael McGarrigle, who's trying a ball into Shane Rooney. That ball skidding along the surface, but Rooney picks that up, goes to ground, back to his feet again, and he done fierce well, because he shipped the challenge, got it away. But Tempo now have got the ball. It's with their corner back, who is Kieran Ingram. He kicks it over there to a support player, and now it's into the hands of Aidan Flanagan. He has support from Ryan Ingram, and he's also got one of the wing half backs over there, but they're trying to get it into Tiernan Bogue. Paul McCaffrey puts his body on the line to try and get that off it, but Bogue wins it. He's going to first time try this on the right foot. That looks very good. That was a marvellous score.
Score of the game so far. Outstanding.
And we've had some good scores too.
He's been double marked. He won the ball, he went to ground, he shimmied, lost his man, turned. Wonderful score. Outstanding. That's class. I really enjoyed that.
1-8 to 1 point, and with that kick from Tiernan Bogue, that brings an end to the action for this first half. 7 points between the teams, but certainly, Malachy, with that breeze, we cannot rule Aaron Gales out. So it just goes to you that we've had some really quality scores taken in this game.
It's been really exciting, and you know, we've had, as I say, a full half of football, very few stoppages. The boys have got up, got on with it. If we go back to that Tiernan Bogue score, there was an opportunity down here for Aaron Gales. The tempo defence did very well, mopped up. There were calls for a foul on the, I think it's a young Rooney that plays.
Yeah, Shane Rooney.
But I think the tempo defence were very disciplined. They mopped it up, they worked it out, and Tiernan Bogue capitalised on that. Great way to finish.
With that, we leave it, and we'll be back for the second half in this Quinn Building Products Senior Relegation Semi-Final here in Canon Maguire Memorial Park in Derrygonley. And you're welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canon Maguire Memorial Park here in Derrygonley for this Quinn Building Products Senior Relegation Semi-Final game between Aaron Gales and Tempo. The scoreline at half-time, 1-8 to Tempo, 1-1 to Aaron Gales. Referee Nigel Sweeney's about to throw the ball in for this second half. The losers of this game, of course, will play Benalec in the relegation final. The winners have their senior championship status preserved for another year, so there's plenty at stake in this game. That ball was won by Tiernan Bogue. He got a free in and around the halfway line, so Tempo have got the first play of the second half. I see, just looking, that Aaron Gales are playing with a sweeper back there. Don't see any changes at half time, but if there is, we'll keep an eye to it. And it's Tommy Warnock who's breaking forward here. He has no one no one on the edge of the square, because Lorcan McStavic come out. He's trying to thread a ball into Tiernan Bogue, which Bogue wins. Bogue's trying to give it back here to Keelan Kelly with a scoring opportunity here now. Kelly runs into a bit of traffic, gives it back to Aidan Breen. Breen shimmies it to the left foot, kicking that up, and that's going in, but it's gone wide. Tempo had a couple of opportunities to get a score there, Malachy, and they kind of turned it off, they kind of refused it to take one which seemed a bit tougher than some of the easier ones.
Yeah, but the easier one was falling on the forward's left foot, so maybe he just wasn't confident on that. But then Aidan Breen did take it on his left, but he was further out, so yeah, that was a chance. First 10 minutes of this half is going to be so important for Etherny to get to regain a foothold. Aye. And if Tempo pick off a few
Gales,
scores. I mean, for Aaron Gales to claw their way back to within shooting range.
Well, here we go. The first high ball into Seamus Ryder, and that's caught. It's gone down through his legs. Referee Nigel Sweeney says it's going to be a free in. So it's a penalty. A penalty. That's what it is. So here we go. This is drama in the first 30 seconds of the second half. It was a high ball in. Seamus Ryder got in round it, seemed to go through his legs, but referee Nigel Sweeney must have seen that the defender was bundling into the back of Seamus Ryder. He's got the penalty, dusts himself down, gets himself up to take this penalty. He's against Matthew Jackson, probably one of the best shot stoppers around. So this is going to be interesting. Here we go with Ryder lining it up. This Aaron Gales definitely could do with this score, and by God they get it. 2 goals and 1 point to Aaron Gales, 1-8 to Tempo. Malachy.
That's just exactly what Aaron Gales needed at this stage, as I said, to get a foothold so as they could start to claw their way back.
Yeah.
So that was perfect, a perfect start to the half for Aaron Gales, and disappointing for Tempo. It was one of those penalty calls that could have went either way. You know, the young rider had dropped the ball, but there was some contact after that, and referee decided penalty. So
that's what the decision is. It's changed for Aaron Gales. They've taken off Padraig Johnson and they've brought on Ronan Cox. So here we go with Matthew Jackson kicking it out very long. That's Lorcan McStraffic fighting for that, but Tommy McCaffrey swoops in and it gives it to Barry McCann, and McCaffrey has it again. I see Riders ominously in and around the edge of the square, and it's a high ball coming in again. That's going into the back of Ryder. He breaks that down, goes to ground, and it's ruled as a wide ball, so that's a kick out again from Matthew Jackson. But straight from the start of this game, from this second half, the scoreboard is now reading 2 goals and 1 point to Aaron Gales, 1-8 to Tempo. Straight to the start of this second half, Malachy, you can see that Aaron Gales are looking to get a high ball in under the top of Seamus Ryder. That time he'd come away from the goal area. It's always better if he could stay on the edge of the square, because even all he has to do is get a hand to it, and it could you'd never know what would happen.
That's right.
That's a ball going over the head of Shane Rooney, but he's got good speed and he chips it up to himself, gets through 2 tackles. If he gets that over the bar, that'll be a mighty score. Unfortunately he doesn't, but Shane Rooney hadn't much room to operate there. Quick wee chip up through a tiny little gap and hit that shot. Didn't come off his foot just right. So the scoreline remains Aaron Gales 2-1, Tempo 1-8. Matthew Jackson wasn't happy. That ball seems to be a bit soft, so he's kicking it over to the sideline. So lining this ball up on the 21 metre line. You can see Tempo are trying to force the short, or trying to work the short kick out as they bring the ball bounced off his chin. He's given it to the wing half back, who's Ryan Breen, and it's Ryan Breen who's the unenviable task of picking up Seamus Ryder so far in this second half. He fists the ball forward. That's Tiernan Bogue who's going for it. He's got McStraffic ahead of him. Bogue on the right foot gives it to Lorcan McStraffic. He's kicking the ball into midfield. That's a 4v1, but that is a crazy kind of a ball which Ben McCann was fighting hard for. Now it's Keelan Kelly who's breaking inside the 45 metre line. Bit of a gap opened up. He fists it over here to McStraffic. Now it's over to the centre half back. Connor Foy gives that across the foot on the right foot. That ball's over the bar, and every score for Tempo in this second half, Malachy, is going to be very, very valuable, because they're going to be under the cosh with this breeze that Aaron Gales are playing with.
They are, and that was well worked by Tempo. From it seemed like a mini disaster. There was a ball kicked back out, and they still worked it. So they have been showing more composure in this game. I felt, particularly in the first half, I felt Tempo with a more composed team.
That was well done by Aidan Breen. He fisted the ball down Michael McGarry. One thing I've noticed, Malachy, both teams are doing well to work the midfielders into spaces where they can run on and catch the ball. It doesn't always have to be a midfield battle. Aidan Breen got his fist over the back of Michael McGarrigle, which was broken down, ended up into the hands of Rory Foy. He tried to kick across the ball. That time the connection wasn't good, so Brian Ryder's going to have another kick out, and the scoreline still reads 2-1 to Aaron Gales. 6-1 is 7, 1-9 is 12. 5 points between the teams, with about
6 minutes gone.
6 minutes gone in this second half, so still plenty of time to play. But it's kick out going over there, and it's going to be a battle in midfield, which Barry McCann wins it, plays on without the mark. He's breaking inside the 45 metre line. That was good tackling by Keelan Kelly. Barry McCann gives it over here now to Ronan Cox outside the 45, fists it over then to Oisin Kelm, and Kelm tries to give it in there. That was well flicked off back by Conor Foy, and it's a free out. Going to be a free out. We'll have Ben McCann's down, is getting a bit of treatment over here. I think it's going to be a free out for Tempo. Didn't see what happened. Seemed to be a bit of a coming together, maybe, Malachy?
Yeah, I think there was a ball on the ground, and Conor Foy put the foot in. Nothing intentional. And then after it, I think Tommy McCaffrey came in. There was a Tempo player going for a ball on the ground, and I think that's what the free might be for. Yeah, an Aaron Gales infringement.
So away we go again, and it's a kick out to Matthew Jackson. Tommy Warnock's in plenty of space in front of us here. He gets the ball on this sideline. Seamus Ryder's coming towards him with he has got Ryan Breen in support, and Breen's breaking forward. Two Tempo players nearly run into each other, but Lorcan McStraffic has it now. He's trying a high ball into Rory McCaffrey. That's Paul McCaffrey going for that there. Rory Foy dives on it. It's been picked up now by number 15. That's Gareth Deary. He's come on in the last couple of minutes. So Gareth Deary kicking that over here now, and Aaron Gales are away on the attack again. That's their corner wing half back. He's Oisin Kelm. It's the other wing half back. That's Paul McCaffrey. Now it's Barry McCann going to bomb a high ball into Seamus Ryder. That's gone straight into the hands of Conor Foy. I say into the hands, he dropped it between his legs, but he got it picked up again, and now Tempo have a chance to break here. That's Declan Owens giving it to Lorcan McStraffic. He's got two Aaron Gales players running towards him, continues his run on up the lane. That's Peter Rafferty trying to find that there, tackles strongly, flicks it over to Ryan Breen. Young Rafferty done well there, and Breen's breaking through the hole. It was Barry McCann who come towards him. Referee Nigel Sweeney says that there was a foul on Aidan Breen, so Aidan Breen's going to have a free on the 45 metre line. Been brought forward a bit by referee Nigel Sweeney. It's about I'd say 28 metres out here now, and it's going to be Lorcan McStraffic on the left foot this time. He's lining this one up. Every score that Tempo can get in the second half is going to be vital. We do know that they were leading by 6 or 7 points at half time, but everything that they can do to keep the scoreboard ticking over in the second half, Malachy, is going to be vital. And in comes McStraffic with that there. Didn't bend inside. No. So that's gone wide. So the scoreline remains 2-1. That's 7-1-9. That's 12. 5 points between the teams here in I think we can now call it a sun-drenched Canon Maguire Park, Malachy, because it's very warm even with the breeze.
It is warm. No, it's bar the breeze, perfect conditions.
That's Brian Ryder looking to find Barry McCann over there, but it's been broken down. Union McCann picks it up, and it's now into the hands of Keelan Kelly. He finds Aidan Flanagan, takes the return pass, bounces off his knees, and that was picked up clean of the ground by Derek Young, in my opinion. But it's away we go again with Paul McCaffrey. He was tackled hard.
That's a generous one there.
He was tackled hard by Paul McCaffrey, and now it's over there to Ronan Cox with number 20 from Tempo. That's Ryan Ingram in his road. I think that was a bit of a pullback, and it's going to be a free in. Maybe it was number 17 Oren Johnson who was pulled back there.
We see this so often in games that players won't wait to get side by side to get the tackle in. The temptation's always there to tackle from behind, and 9 times out of 10 you concede the free, and that's yet another example.
So here's Seamus Ryder. What can he do here? He gives it to Michael Oak McGarrigle. Now it's into the hands of Ben McCann. Tempo have a good wall around the dome of their D. It's now into the hands of Ronan Cox. He kicks straight into the block. It's Aidan Breen. I think it banged off the head of Nigel Sweeney, and now it's into the hands of Conor Foy. So away we go again with Tempo breaking out here. They have a lot of numbers back. Bit of a late challenge there. I think Tommy McCaffrey was pushed off it there. It's probably going to be a free in.
It's very strange. That was a basic error by Tempo. If they were in space, there was no need for that, and now they've gifted Aaron Gales another scoring opportunity.
It's a scoring opportunity, but it's certainly not a gimme. It's Shane Rooney who's taking this in the 45 metre line, going to take it out of the hands. It's going to suit the left-footed kicker, so he's lining this one up here now. We'll see how it goes. Scoreline 2-1 to 1-9. Can Shane Rooney make a difference? Gives it plenty of height anyway. It's definitely got the distance, and it has the accuracy. 2-1. 2-1 suddenly becomes 2-2. 8 points place 12, 4 points between the teams.
Yeah, needless foul by Tempo there. I can't understand that, because they were going to build an attack from there, but that's it. And Aaron Gales have capitalised.
Kick out from Matthew Jackson. A couple of players looking to get it short. He's going to go long to that far side of the field. It's Keelan Kelly and Barry McCann that's battling for it, but it was Tiernan Bogue who came in over the top of it. Barry McCann got in front. He looked to take that short. Bogue was in his way. Referee Nigel Sweeney correctly says move it forward. Only moved it forward about 5 metres or so, and away we go again with Oisin Kelm inside the 45 metre line. He has got Peter Rafferty in his road, gives it to Ronan Cox. That's a very delicate angle. Cox moves it out to try and get a better shot at it on the right foot, gives it plenty of height, and that's gone over the bar, and it's now 2-3 to 1-9. That's only 3 points between the teams.
It's very well played by young Cox there. He's becoming a growing influence in this game. He's been involved in a number of moves around the middle, and that's a very good score there, because I wouldn't have bet my house on him even taking a shot there, and yet he took it on and he scored, so fair play.
And away we go again. That's Paul Ward who's coming in now. It was picked up by Tommy McCaffrey, who feeds it to Oren Johnson, and Johnson now gives it to Gareth Deary wearing 15 on his back, gives it to Shane Rooney. He was pushed over. That's going to be another free in for Aaron Gales, and Tempo are really taking Aaron Gales back into this game by giving away frees. This is an easier one again for Shane Rooney. It's about 3 metres outside the edge of the D, reasonably straight in front of the goals, Malachy. Tempo are going to have to rue some of these frees that they're giving away.
Tempo need to recalibrate here, because they were dominating, they were in control, and their discipline seems to have gone slightly, and they're also losing it out round the middle, which I'm very surprised about. Like this last 3-4 kickouts, Aaron Gales have either won them or broke them, and Aaron Gales have caught them clean out there a number of times.
And now it's 2-4 to 1-9 with about 15 minutes played in the second half. We're going to have the water break soon. That's Ewan McCann. Goes straight to the... I think he would have picked it up on the ground. It's been picked up by Tommy McCaffrey. He flicks the ball, and now it's been turned over, and Peter Rafferty, Tempo's on the move here now, and it's Ryan Ingram who has the ball, giving it to Lorcan McStravick, but Shane Mimna gets a good fist in there, puts it out over the line, and it's going to be a free in, or a sideline ball to Lorcan McStravick, which he kicks straight into the chest of Oren Johnson, and that's a turnover ball. Plenty of turnovers here now. Michael Oak McGarrigle, he's kicking a high ball over there to Ronan Cox, is waiting for it, bounces in front of him. Cox flicks it to Shane Rooney. Rooney's going to want to spin around onto the left foot. Another foul. This time it was Kieran Ingram who come in over the top of Shane Rooney. Rooney's gone down. It's another chance. This is 3 opportunities that Shane Rooney's had in the last couple of minutes to get a score. He's down, going to need a bit of treatment here now, but I'm sure he'll be back up again. If he can't take it, they have Tommy McCaffrey on the left foot over there, so plenty of options for Aaron Gales. They're still behind, so let's not rule Tempo out of this game, because Tempo are still winning 1-9 to 2-4. That's 2 points between the teams. But Tempo really need to cut out these simple frees they're giving away in their own half. Aaron Gales are playing with the advantage of a breeze, so they've enough going for them. Not Shane Rooney again putting that high and putting that over the bar, and it's now 2-5 to 1-9. Only 1 point between the teams now. Change for Tempo coming on. That's number 13, Oisin Jackson, who's away off. Who are they taking off? I think it's Ryan Ingram. Referee says before we do any of this paperwork, we'll all take a drink, because as I said, Malachy, it's very warm here in Derrygonney for this game, so the players, we wouldn't begrudge them a chance to get a sup of water.
No, and it might be timely for Tempo as well, because things were running away from them there for the last 5 or 7 minutes, so it might be just a chance for the management to get the boys together and get them to calm down and just go back to basics. Just win the ball and work it and see what unfolds, and just cut out these careless challenges. But we have to hand it to Aaron Gales. They came out here, I think, was it 6 or 7 points down, and they've clawed their way right back. Somewhat fortuitous, probably getting the penalty, but can't blame the man. He got the penalty and he put it away, and really battling around the middle. You know, it wouldn't be. You wouldn't say it was one of the. You would have thought that Tampa would have more dominance around the middle, but it's all to play for. High stakes here, as you said earlier.
Yeah, neither of these teams want to be in a relegation final, and then again, neither of them want to be looking down into an intermediate championship for next year. Referee Nigel Sweeney's just telling everyone, right, back at it for the last quarter. 15 minutes played, so we've 15 minutes left, and whatever injury time is left. So a couple of subs were made. We talked about Oisin Jackson, who came on there. Didn't see who came off. I think it might have been Ryan Ingram. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll keep our eye on that there. So it's goalkeeper Matthew Jackson. He's going long. Tiernan Bogan, Michael McGarrigle, the ball drops. Ewan McCann picks it up. Here's a chance for Tampa to get away. That was a bit of holding going on there from Oisin Kelm. Referee says play on, and it's Lorcan McStraffic now bouncing the ball. The ball got away from Paul McCaffrey. Just kicks the first thing he's seen, and that was the ball. It's come back to Lorcan McStraffic on the left foot. That's going to bounce in dangerously. Goalkeeper Brian Ryder does well, gets a hand to it, and now it's going to be a 45, just about 3 metres to the right hand side of the goal post. So it's Aidan Breen who's ending up to take this. Tampa could really do with a score. They're bringing on Damien Kelly as well to try and make a difference in this last quarter. He's coming on, and it looks like it's going to be Aidan Flanagan who's coming off. So Tampa were starting to bring on some of their more experienced players to do what they can to keep themselves in this game. Here's Aidan Breen taking this from the 45, gets a good connection. It's going in there. It looks like it's got enough. It's over the bar. It's now 2-5 to Aaron Gales, 1-10 to Tampa. 1-10 is 13 and 2-5's 11. 2 points between the teams. If Tampa need to keep their scoreboard ticking over, because you can be rest assured, Malachy, that Aaron Gales will get more scores before the end of this game.
Yeah, and they're more likely to get a goal as well, given the wind conditions and so on, given the threat that's posed by Seamus Ryder up front.
And that's Ewan McCann who's swallowed up that there. He's been fouled by Tommy McCall. Indeed, he wasn't been fouled, he overcarried it. Referee Nigel Sweeney says he was overcarried, so Ewan McCann dropped that ball. Now it's been taken quickly, and Shane Rooney's picking it up. He looks like he's going to try and deliver it to Ryder. That's a nice gliding ball. It's going to be one bounce in front of Ryder. He fists it over here now to Michael McGarrigle on the right foot. I thought he was going to take a shot, giving it now to Barry McCann with Ben McCann over there as well. So Aaron Gales trying to get inside. It's Oisin Kelm tries to turn it round. Now it's number 10, who is Dara Keown, kicks it straight into the block, gets a hand to it again, but now it's Tampa who have it turned over. That's Oisin Jackson turning around. He's playing with a bit of advantage. Referee next when he's going to pull it back because there was no advantage accruing. It's Keelan Kelly who has the ball in his hand. He's going to try and take this quickly, gives it to Aidan Breen, and Tampa's away again. They need to get a couple more scores. It's 1-10 to 2-5, 2 points between the teams, and Aidan Breen breaks through that challenge. Has he got himself to a scoring position? No, he gives it to Lorcan McStraffic, shimmies to the right, gives it back to Aidan Breen. He's breaking inside. I think he's looking for a point with the fist, takes the opportunity, puts it over the bar. The scoreline now reads 1-11 to Tampa, 2-5 to Aaron Gales. This has been a good passage of play for Tampa. They've got their scoreboard ticking over again, Malachy. There's 3 points between the teams again, so we're all set up. We have got 18 and a half minutes played in the second half. Big 10 minutes ahead of us.
Big 10 minutes, but just interesting when you need leadership there. Aidan Breen has shown some. He kicked over that 45, and he made that last score there. Well, he took it himself, but he made it. He started the play out on the 45 and he finished it with a fisted point. So,
and he's just give away a free, so he's human at the end of the day. Unfortunately, he come over the top of Michael McGarrigle, so it's a free in for Aaron Gales in and around midfield. It's in the hands of Oisin Kelm. He is being chased by Peter Rafferty, and Declan Owens, he's doing a marking job on Gareth Deary here now. Now it's into Ben McCann, loses his foot and gives it to Ronan Cox. Bit of volleyball going, or not volleyball, net. No, it is volleyball. Gives it now to Oisin Kelm, and back here to Michael Oak McGarrigle. He finds Shane Rimna with an inviting ball, I think you'd call that, to run onto it. That's Barry McCann, ships a challenge, gives it to Paul McCaffrey. McCaffrey tries to get a quick ball away to his brother Tommy, but Ewan McCann was in there. He snuffed that out, and now Tampo have won a free inside their own 45-metre line. Referee Nathan Sweeney says, what are you codding about at? And he moves the ball forward. It's going to be Keelan Kelly taking this quickly. He's got a player over there, I think it's Connor Foy. So he kicking it forward to Tiernan Bogues up against McGarrigle. Looks to give that glancing ball into Keelan Kelly. He flicked it on, but he had time to catch it. Now it's going to go back to Tiernan Bogue. I thought he was going to take a shot, trying to find a bit of space, kick that up at a bit of height, but it's going to go wide. There was an opportunity for a score there, and it's going to be a kick out for Brian Ryder. The scoreline still reads 2-8 to Aaron Giles, 1-11 to Tampo. 3 points between the teams, Malachy.
3 points and still plenty of time. 10 minutes to go, plus time added.
So that's Brian Ryder. He's found Michael Oak McGarrigle on that far side of the field. McGarrigle's moving forward. He has Rory Foy coming towards him. Gets through that challenge. Gives it to Paul McCaffrey. McCaffrey slips the tackle of Aidan Breen. Kicking the ball inside to Seamus Ryder. That'll bounce in front of him. And a big bounce that took. Ryder takes that well. Going to take it on the left foot, swinging around. That'll be a nice score. We've been treated to some fantastic scores here, Malachy. There's no doubt about that. Seamus Ryder on his weaker left foot, deft as the ballerina, just swung around, got that ball up, used the advantage of the breeze and got that over the bar.
Just such a difficult man to mark, you know. His timing.
Do you mark in front of him or behind him?
And his positional sense. He commands and controls a significant area around him in terms of the ability of a defender to get in to knock a ball away. And then his ability, just as the saying is, he knows where the goals is. He just pivoted and knocked that over the bar, so that keeps Aaron Gales in touch.
Yeah,
and it's going to be a great final 10 minutes.
So that was Ben McCann, who's come off on Ulton Kelm, where number 23, he's back in action. Anyway, we play away, and it's Aidan Breen hitting that forward to Lorcan McStravick, but he was been pulled back by Shane Mimna. It's going to be a free in for Tampo, and it's in the hands of Aidan Breen in and around the 45-metre line. It seems like he's going to line this up for a shot. It's going to be a tough one. Might land in and around the edge of the square, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Two men inside, Damien Kelly and Rory Foy, so
Aidan Breen setting this one up. The breeze is maybe just not as strong as it was a while ago, so Breen's lining this up. It's what would we say, 10 metres in from the sideline, straight on the 45-metre line. Couple of changes going to be made from Tampo here now, I can see, but Breen's lining this up anyway. This will be a matey kick if he can get it. He's not going to get a point from that anyway, but he's going to have another chance, near enough I'd say, from the exact same angle, because Paul McCaffrey got a fist to that. It went out over the line, and it's going to be a 45 kick for Tampo. Gives them a chance to bring on one of their substitutes. It's going to be number 17, Fergus Fee. He's coming on. Not sure who's coming off just yet, but it's Peter Rafferty, I think, where number 12. He's going to be coming off. So Fergus Fee's got 10 minutes to leave his mark on this game, and Tampo are winning by 3 points at the minute. 2 points at the minute, because 2-6 is 12 points and 1-11 is 14. So Aidan Breen, can he extend the lead and bring Tampo out? 3 points between the teams. He's lining this one up. Didn't get much better of a connection, and Paul McCaffrey won that there. So it was really a case of take two, and the exact same thing happened. So away we go again, and it's Aaron Gales breaking out in the move. That is their number 17. He's Oren Johnson. Goes to ground. Referee Nigel Sweeney says it's going to be a free, and now it's come over here as far as Oisin Kelm. He ships a challenge and gives it. He's breaking forward inside the Tampo half of the field. Ulton Kelm was given an option there, but it's Barry McCann turning around, gives it to Ulton Kelm, and away he breaks 2 tackles straight away. He's going down an alley against Declan Owens. Tried to take a shot, but Owens done very well to come back, and it was picked up off the ground by Keelan Kelly. So that's going to be a free in for Aaron Gales. Did you see that, Malik? Was that off the ground? I was watching the block.
I felt it had boggled or toggled on the
yeah.
ground, and I thought it was a harsh call now.
It's one of those ones that
referee's closer to it than I am.
Yeah, you have to put maybe even trap it with your foot and pick it up to avoid all doubt, because the referee can only call what they see in their best opinion. That's Shane Rooney, comes back at the post, drops into the hands of number 4 Kieran Ingram. So if Tempo felt they were getting injustice there, it's worked out the way it has, and now it's Keelan Kelly whose ball has been dropped, and Barry McCann picks it up. He has a shooting opportunity, gives it over here to Tommy McCaffrey. He'd probably want it on the left foot, giving it to Gareth Deary, giving that on the right foot on the edge of the D. That's going in, but it's also going wide. So the scoreline is still remaining. Aaron Gales 2-6, Tempo 1-11 here in Derry-Gonley. We're approaching the end of this game. There's 25 minutes gone in this second half with additional time to come, so just 5 minutes left.
Just Tempo a little bit ragged there, both as we say on the pick up and on the pass out. I suppose tiredness is having an impact now. You know, the mistakes are more likely to be obvious at this stage in the game.
It's also fair to say that Tempo haven't been behind. They've been in front for this entire match.
Right.
They built their lead at half time, and by their fingernails they're still keeping in front. That period of play where they got 2 scores in a couple of minutes, Aidan Breen was involved in maybe both of them. That made a big difference, because it just kept their own scoreboard ticking over. We know, and we talked about the breeze. Here's Lorcan McStavic with a chance on the right foot, hitting that in. It's going to drop short. That's dropping down, and it's picked up by Paul Ward. Chips a challenge, and now he gives it to Dara Keown, who finds Ronan Cox in plenty of space. This might be the opportunity for Aaron Gales to get back into the game. Cox is going to deliver this early, but it's come to Gareth Deary. Barrel bounces in front of him, and Deary wins it back. He's gone to ground. So referee Nigel Sweeney says he was held onto it too long. I
was about to say this is where the discipline is needed from Tempo, and they didn't create a foul.
Yeah, they resisted temptation to foul.
Very much so. I just thought young McStravick, if he had a cut in there and tried to win the free, he had an opportunity. Had he a cut into his left, he may have drawn the foul.
Yeah,
but that's easy for me saying.
Away we go again, and now it's Shane Rooney. He's presenting an opportunity, going to take this on the left foot. He's had a couple of opportunities trying to get inside. Now he's going to take it on the right foot. The ball's going down between his legs, and it's been picked up by Tiernan Bogue. Bogue goes to ground, and it's going to be a free out for Tempo with 4 minutes to go at the end of this game. Tempo, can they hold on? They put a big shift in the first half to rack up a big score. 3 points just in the second half, but that's what we were really expecting. That there's no doubt about it, because and now it's going to be a free in for Tempo. That looked like Michael McGarrigle who nudged Keelan Kelly off the ball, but referee Nigel Sweeney says it was illegal, so it's going to be a free in for Tempo on the 45 metre line, and it's in the hands of Lorcan McStravick, who's bouncing this here. Keelan Kelly's down getting a bit of...
I actually thought the ref was blowing that the other way for the Tempo player lunging in, you know, but he saw it differently than me. You know, I felt the Tempo player lunged to block off, to go between the Aaron Gales player on the ball, but referee sees it differently, and he's the boss. So this is very timely from Tempo. You know, if they can work a score, I don't think it's a direct kick from here. He'd probably go for it, but I'd like to keep the ball alive at this stage if it was me.
So it's Lorcan McStravick laning this one up. He looks in front of him, and he does take it short as Union McCann who provides the option, but they've turned it over. That was Shane Mimna doing good work, and now it's into the hands of Oisin Kelm. Now it's Ronan Cox. Aaron Gales with a chance to break out, and it's Barry McCann and Tommy McCaffrey as they start to move forward. Seamus Riders looking the ball long. He's calling for it, gives it to Ronan Cox. Now Cox with Gareth Deary spinning back, going to take it onto the right foot, giving it to Ulton Kelm, and now Kelm turns around doing well. Thought he took too much out of it. Keelan Kelly does well to get in, and referee Nigel Sweeney says it's going to be a free out for Tempo. That was good work by Keelan Kelly, because Ulton Kelm turned around. Kelly just got his hand in, dispossessed him as he was going down to pick him up. Someone fouled him, and it's now a free out for Tempo.
I think they've heard of this Ulton Kelm guy, because the second he got on the ball, there were 3 players around him, and again they were disciplined and they managed to dispossess him, and Aaron Gales got sucked into the trap of committing the foul on the defender coming out, and you know, here's another minute. of time.
Yeah, as we tick towards the 29th minute, I think there's at least 3 minutes of additional time to be played, so still 2 points between the teams. A very dangerous score line, 2 6s 12, 1 11s 14. Keelan Kelly, he is down and he is injured, but I'm sure he's going to have to take every minute that he can before he gets back up again to his feet. Referee Nigel Sweeney just noting that injury. Now it's Conor Foy who's going to take this free kick, and if anything, the wind's only getting stronger here in Derry-Gonley.
It is, and he needs options here to.
So there his options, Matthew Jackson, who's come out and gives it back to Conor Foy. So away they go again, and Tampa with a chance to break out. They're going back towards their own goals, so dangerous enough play. I wouldn't recommend it. That's Tommy Warnock. He's spent a lot of time in there keeping his eye onto the defence and giving it over there to Kieran Ingram, and now it's Keelan Kelly who's breaking out, fisting it forward to Lorcan McStravick with Shane Mimnan. McStravick does well to spin around. He wins his free over on that far sideline, not in a rush to take it anyway. He's going to give it here to Conor Foy. That's a dangerous enough ball because it bounced very highly, only that Aaron Gales hadn't anyone in trying to, and it's coming over here now, and it's probably going to win it's probably going to go over the lane, and it's a free. It's going to be a sideline ball which Barry McCann's going to take, and that's a wobbly looking ball too for Oisin Kelm, because he had two players running towards him. Kelm fists it over here now to Paul Ward, who gives it to Michael Oak McGarrigle, and he has Barry McCann. Here's Aaron Gales on the move here now. There's 2 points in it. That was a diving tackle from Rory Foy, but Michael Oak McGarrigle does well. He wins a free about 45 metres out, and Tempo are starting to go to ground. It's Ronan Cox who's coming out. Barry McCann maybe going to take this here, but it's Conor Foy who's down with cramp. Referee Nigel Sweeney checking of his watch, flashing a yellow card there probably for Conor Foy. It's Barry McCann from the ground, 50 metres out, chance to reduce the margin to a solid 3 point, and we really are in for a grandstand couple of minutes. 31 minutes played in this second half, maybe still 3 minutes to go. There's plenty of time for 2 if not 3 more attacks, so Aaron Gales, they really do need this score, Malachy.
They do, and we saw one kicked from this position after about 10 minutes of this half, so it's kickable. It's not easy, but it's kickable with the wind in your back, and this is nail-biting stuff. The stakes are high. God bless Championship football, because this is Championship football. This is.
So Barry's lining this up from the ground. He is at least 50 metres out. He's probably 2 or 3 metres to the left hand side of the post, so here he comes with the kick. What's the connection like? It's not too bad. That's going in, but it's going to bend around to the left hand side, and the scoreline remains 2-6 to Aaron Gales, 1-11 to Tempo. Our Tempo going to retain their senior status. Will Aaron Gales have to play Ballinalek in a relegation final? It's a final that no one wants to be in, but the loser of this game, that's what awaits them, to retain senior championship status for next year. Here's Matthew Jackson with the kick out in the 21 metre line. Aaron Gales have pushed a lot of their players forward. He's going long, and it's going to be in between Shane Mimna and Lorcan McStravick. Referee Nigel Sweeney blowing his whistle, rules that Shane Mimna was coming to the back of Lorcan McStravick, and now Aidan Breen has found a bit of space inside. He's got Michael Oak McGarrigle in front of him, ships the pass. Is he going to go with the fist again? Fists it across, and that touches over the crossbar, and now Tempo have opened up a 3 point lead again. There's one major between the teams, so that's breathing space to a certain extent for Tempo.
It gives us security in that it's unlikely they're going to be beaten now. If Aaron Gales are to get a goal, pull it to a draw, but it'll take a goal at this stage to bring Aaron Gales back into it.
Brian Ryder finds Dara Keown over there now, and it's Barry McCann as well. This is getting into desperate stuff for Aaron Gales. They give it to Oren Johnson, who's breaking inside. He's well held up, and referee Nigel Sweeney says it's going to be a free in, so Ronan Cox is going to take this first time delivery ball. It's in high. Seamus Ryder's trying to howl off the players. He's getting inside 2 players around him. They get it dispossessed, and it's Rory Foy who bundled over Tommy McCaffrey. I think it was a bit of charging. Referee Nigel Sweeney says it's a free in. So what are Aaron Gales going to do? Do you think Seamus Ryder's going to go for the goal here, or will he take a point?
Well,
Well, we'll find out in about 10
there's
seconds.
4 minutes gone.
He probably has to go for a goal.
He has.
This is so. Tampo have built a wall on the lane with every available player that they can find. Shamey Ryder kicks it across. That's, oh my goodness, didn't give anyone a chance. Gives it to Shane Rooney. If Aaron Gales get a goal out of this, they'll be shocked. That was a good block. Tampo put their body on the lane. It's going to be a 45-metre ball in. But Seamus Ryder, like that ball, it was kind of high.
The player who received it ended up with his back to goal, so that was, he might have been better have a pop shot and hope that someone would get the rebound. It'd
have been better someone kicking it to Seamus Ryder other than him kicking it to someone else. But the danger's not over yet, because Aaron Gales are going to take this 45-metre line. It's Barry McCann. He's going to have to float this, and he's going to have to judge it well, because he can't put it over the bar. So that's going in nicely. High ball. Referee Knights when he blows that for a square ball.
Must have been in the square before the kick.
Yeah, anyway, it's a square ball. Time has to be nearly up here, so it's going to be a free out. 35 minutes played, and it's Matthew Jackson kicking it over there to Tommy Warnock. Now it's Tampo, they need to break out. That's Tommy Warnock back again, and it's Kieran Ingram. He's found himself out there, gives it to Oisin Jackson, ships the challenge from Porrick Johnson, Oren Johnson indeed, and now it's Jackson moving forward, pulled back there by Oren Johnson, and now it is Rory Foy giving it to it's into Oisin Jackson now. Keelan Kelly's here in midfield looking for the ball. Now that's Fergus Fee. I thought he was going to give it. He retains possession, gives it to Ewan McCann. I'm sure Tampa were just trying to hold out and kill down the time. Now it's Lorcan McStravick who has a shooting opportunity on the 21-metre line. Referee Nigel Sweeney blows the whistle, and that's it, Malachy. So Tampa were never behind in this game. The score they built up in the first half was enough to see them over the line, and now Aaron Gales are looking into a senior relegation final against Ballinalec.
Well, 50-50 game, as the saying is, you are where you play for.
When they've lost two championship games,
you play for your position. So it's a game we'll all look forward to, and good luck to Tempo, as you said. They built up a good lead, but again, I have to say, if you pick out a player in this last quarter, it would have to be Aidan Breen. I think, am I right in saying Aidan Breen scored the last 3 points for Tempo?
I would think so,
He kicked a 45. He got a fisted point, and he got another fisted point there to put 3 points in it. So I know it's a team performance, and there were lots of great performances on both teams, but he's the standout one for me, and he showed a lot of composure in the first half as well. A very experienced player at this stage now. Aidan has played a lot of football, so congratulations to Tempo, and we'll wish them all the best in the senior championship next year. And Aaron Gales are still in it, all to play for, so and we have to give high praise to Aaron Gales as well, because they went in at half time 7 points down, and they came back to within a point. They really made a game of it. It was an entertaining game. It was a very sporting game. Mm-hmm. There were very few cards, and Fermanagh Championship weekend isn't over yet. We still have a big game in Enniskillen this evening.
We moved now to Enniskillen for the final semi-final. It's between Timor and Edinburgh. We'll see you then at 7 o'clock from Enniskillen, so tune in. Until then, Slán.